Character and string variables can be compared the same way numeric data types can. You can, if menu choice was a character, you could check to see if it's equal to the character A. If first name is a string, you can check to see if it's equal to the string Beth. So you can use less than operators, and it just compares things alphabetically. Comparing characters is really comparing their ASCII values. If you look back to Chapter 2, we had talked about ASCII values, and you can find them in the appendix in the back of the book. When you have string variables, it just compares the each and individual letter, one letter at a time in each string. So here's an example of using string comparisons. And this is an example program 419 from the textbook. And you can see it asks the user to enter a character, so this is just doing string comparisons. The example in the book does this, which really is the same thing, but GET will allow you to get a white space character, but I'm not going to use any white space characters. And then it checks. If it's in this range of 0 to 9, it'll say you entered a digit. If it's between uppercase and lowercase c, you entered an uppercase letter. And if it's between the lowercase ones, you'll see that as well. So if I run this and, I put in the letter X, you entered a lowercase digit. If I put in, a 5, it'll just say you entered a digit. Okay, there's also a whole series of functions you can use to test character data. They require you to include the CC type header file. Here you'll see, and they just work with one character. Is alpha says if it's actually, a letter, is alpha num. If it's a letter or a digit, which is for alphanumeric. If it's a digit, between 0 and 9, is lower, if it's lowercase. Is print, if it's a printable character, meaning not a white space character, is punct. If it's a punctuation character, is upper, is it uppercase, is space. If it's a white space character. So there's also a sample program here that does a little bit of, shows a little bit of that, and I'm going to take a look at that for a second. And here you can see it just uses the get function. Again, this, I could say cn input if I want, but the cn.get will allow me to enter a white space character. It'll tell you the character I entered. It'll tell you its ASCII equivalent. And then it'll display if it is alpha, it'll say it's alphanumeric. If the input character is a digit, it'll say that. If it's lowercase, it'll tell you it's lowercase, etc., etc. So if I run this, right, and I put in X, whoops, its ASCII code is 120, it's an alphabetic character, it's lowercase. If I run it again, and let's say I put in the uppercase A, its ASCII code is 65, it's an alphabetic character, it's uppercase. If I just put a number in, like 4, again, shows you its ASCII code and it's a numeric digit. So the reason the 4 is actually the character 4 with single quotes around it. That's why it has an ASCII equivalent. Okay, so there's just a little bit more about characters and strings and how to compare them.